Fred, I really love what you're doing with the ball. You're getting creative, being low tech, and we're working on shoulder mobilization. Do you think you could walk me through what you're trying to do here today? So what I've learned from Bob is that when we have restricted shoulder range of motion, or we feel unstable or weak, or we're rehabbing an injury or a surgery, one thing that we want to get comfortable with is pressing under control. And a good way to do that we control how much tension while getting some feedback, is a little bit of an inflatable ball. Pressing into the wall like such. Seems pretty simple, and with a few mindful tips about how to adjust your posture, you can ease a lot of shoulder pain and get back some range of motion that you might have been missing. So what I like to think about doing is starting with our fingers more or less pointing up, and with most shoulder movements, a cue that I like to remind people on is shoulders down and shoulders back, trying to pinch. Fred, you mind showing us what's going on here? Can we pinch these shoulder blades together in the back and then bring our shoulders down away from our ears? What this does is it helps maintain a lot of space in the rotor cuff, and it puts the humerus right in the middle of that shoulder socket where it's the most stable. So we're just going to kind of lean into that wall, pressing with that arm, trying to lock out that elbow and push the shoulder away from the rib cage while we're putting a comfortable amount of weight into this guy. And then we can just roll around clockwise, counterclockwise, feeling where our shoulder might be more stable, less stable. Is there anything painful, weird? And again, building up tension through the system by pressing away and locking out that elbow. We can do it facing the wall as if it's kind of like a push-up. And for many people, if we're losing overhead range of motion, as I'm pushing into the wall, notice that if I take a step back and push my hips back, that increases the angle between the arm and the body. As we lean back more and more and more, pivoting at the hips, we're not rounding at the lower back, always back with the hips, opening the space, leaning into the wall, making those circles, locking out that elbow, coming up to neutral, hips back. Play around in this space and see where you can gain stability. If that's feeling familiar and we notice that we're having some more restrictions, we can always rotate, fingers in, fingers out, or internal rotation, external rotation. Don't forget about putting the arm behind the body. We want to work on shoulder extension. The biceps and the pec tendon get very tight because we spend a lot of time reaching in front of us. So just a little bit of gentle pressing back into the wall, maybe a little bit more side to side here. Can we flex the wrist? Does it feel different if we're in the fingertips pressing or if we're in the palm and pressing? There's a lot of different varieties. Can you build up a lot of control through the fingertips with a straight elbow and locked elbow? A lot of people have restrictions in what I call goalpost position. And from sitting hunched shoulders too long, we can open up those shoulders by practicing some external rotation. You can start with your arm parallel to the wall, and I'm just pressing my wrist in, sliding up and down, back and forth, circles. And notice I can, over time, open it up, open it up, open it up. Find out where your body is like, this is as far as I want to go with control. We want to make sure that we're sucking that shoulder together and really pressing back into the wall with the whole forearm. As we get better and better, we're all the way parallel to the wall again. Same thing, gentle up and down, left and right. Turn back into the wall, turn away from the wall. The more control we have, the less pain we're going to feel. So notice that this isn't about lifting a heavy weight. This isn't about stretching as far as possible. This is about gently controlling something through a range of motion. This is how we can rehab our shoulders with a little less pain and gain some range of motion in a very gentle way.
Hey team, hope you enjoyed the video. Wanted to make sure that we talked about dose and frequency. When we're first starting these exercises, I usually recommend spending 20 or 30 seconds per exercise and doing each of them once. If you can do this 4 days a week or every other day for the first week or two, that's fantastic. After that, you might want to progress to a minute in each position, rotating through each position 3 times each. Thanks, and let me know what you think.